Okay, everybody, welcome back to another OgreCast. I am Ogre and I'll be your host for this game of StarCraft 2. This is going to be a 3v3 between KillerB, Ragnar, and ProLike on one side. We got two Terran and one Zerg. And on the other side we have a Zerg by the name of Gain, I don't know, Shrooms the Protoss, and Dran the Protoss. Now, you send a really early, Dran is sending a really early probe up there to scout, I'm assuming. I'm sure you can tell that I'm fairly excited about this game. You know, I have not done a KillerB game. He's a friend of mine in real life, and I think he was a little bit sad that I hadn't cast this game for him yet. So, I'm going to try to do this as best I can. I have never actually cast a 3v3. Only 1v1 so far. This is my first. Looks like I had an extractor trick by KillerB there. We got a pylon going up, a proxy pylon for Shrooms up in the top right hand side inside the base of Ragnar and them. So ProLike's little wall off here is not going to keep those zealots out. Got a gateway coming up for Shrooms. Let's take a look at what the other people are doing. Still chrono boosting some probes here for Shrooms, and Drand has got a forge coming up right in the middle. Okay, so we got a pretty good proxy rush going on here. If he can get some cannons up there, it's going to make it really hard to get these expansions going. KillerB sends his drones up to fight this probe off. While the forge is warping in, he decides to stop chasing the probe around and go for the pylon. And these gateways are, well, one of the gateways is coming close to finished for Shrooms up in the top right. What do we got for KillerB? We got a spawning pool almost coming up, so he could really use the help of those Zerglings right now. Sends the drones down, and he is going to spot another pylon going up for Dran. Dran puts the second pylon up, and finally a Marine is out for Ragnar. But it looks like KillerB is pinging the map, hoping for some help getting rid of these pylons. That probe is keeping himself alive pretty good. You know, if Ragnar would target that probe, it could really help in stopping this. Now we got 3 gateways coming up, 2 pylons powering them. We already have 3 zealots warped in for Shrooms. The zealots are coming up to Ragnar's base, and they are going to do some serious damage to this SCV line if he can't get some help in from somebody else. Zerglings are out for KillerB, and he is trying to take out the pylons before these warp gates can be effective, but we got 3 pylons coming on behind him. The zealots have successfully destroyed most of Ragnar's SCVs. We got 2 Marines here trying to power down some zealots, but 2 more are already coming in support, and this is not looking good from the start. Looks like 3 warp gates coming in, 3 pylons to power them. It is going to take an awful long time for these 5 Zerglings to do anything to stop it. We got some more Zerglings coming in from Gain, finally coming to help out his proxying partners. These Zealots are just going to overrun the Marines. Only a couple hits from a Zealot takes out Marines, and these Zerglings are not the counter for Zealots either. But it's the only thing that you can get out fast with Zerg, so it looks like KillerB's best bet to ward off this 3-gate proxy. Now, 3 gates is a bit much to have as a proxy because obviously most of Duran's economy is going to be going into pumping zealots. So you can see he's not pumping zealots out of every gate. He should have only had 2. But fortunately, he's got help from Gain. ProLike is not happy with the zealots, which are apparently OP, but of course, so are many other units. People would say his Marauders are OP too. Ragnar's finally lifting off. I guess he's giving up on his base. No SCVs left. KillerB is still alive, albeit with 3 gates. You see, Durand is still pumping out of 2 gates. This 3rd gate never should have been built. It would have done him a lot more. And looks like Shrooms, he's got another gateway coming in and a cyber core. He's going to get a nice little base going on up here. KillerB, though, I think, is moving out with a decent sized force of Zerglings. we have Durand coming in with a couple more zealots. Really could have pushed in with all those zealots to try to take out those queens and spine crawlers. We got another spine crawler coming up for KillerB. What's he doing with these zerglings? He's hoping that there is no defense here, and he is right. There is not a single unit of defense. Hopefully he can take out Durand with his zerglings. And looks like Gain is going to try to send some zerglings in support for Durand. Durand is almost completely out of probes. He has 300 minerals saved up though. KillerB does a good job taking out those zerglings. Should finish off these 2 probes before you go running anywhere else, but he wants to try to cripple another person before he continues. We've got 5 zealots still running around for shrooms in the opponent base, but he does not like the look of all those spine crawlers, so he moves over to try to take out Pro-like. Pro-like has been barely fending off these zealots with marines, but looks like he's finally out of troops. He has loaded up some SCVs, and I think he is about to call it a day for that. Might have to float away and try to find somewhere else. Still complaining about zealots, but you know, they're a basic unit. And let's see, we got zerglings taking out this part of the base. It would be really nice if KillerB could finish off this proxy. We got more zerglings coming in from Gain. A couple more zealots in support should surround them and take them out instead of taking free pot shots. But he takes out that 1 gateway, takes out the 2 zealots, and now there's nothing left for Durand to defend this proxy base. We got 5 zealots still hanging around for shrooms. We got all these zerglings for Gain. Looks like finally KillerB has managed to clean up that entire proxy. However, it did its damage. He has got 2 of his partners down, not quite out. It looks like Ragnar is managing to start a base down there. Or is that Pro-like? Pro-like is down in the bottom southwest corner. He's going to start trying to build up there if you check it out on the mini map. The queens are managing to fend these guys off. Beautiful transfusion, and there's another beautiful transfusion right there. Good defense set up here. KillerB's got the spine crawlers. He's got 2 queens, and between the transfusions, it is really tough to take that defense out. Only 2 mutas left for Gain, but he is sending 4 more mutas over scouting. Still a giant proxy up here for shrooms, but he doesn't have much of an economy. And looks like KillerB has spotted it and finally has decided to take out this proxy base right here. And because the Cybercore and Forge are here, that's going to cause some serious damage if he loses it. He is training 1 Stalker and has since cancelled it. I guess he knows those Stalkers aren't going to come out before the Zerglings take out that base. Let's see if Pro-like's doing okay. He's got 5 SCVs mining, 90 minerals, 205 gas. He is not going to be a factor for a while. Ragnar has managed to set up at the gold, which might just be what he needs to get back in this game, but unfortunately Durand has a second base here. He knows there's an SCV nearby that is Ragnar's. Ragnar would have been smart to run that SCV the other way, but looks like KillerB is going to take out Shrooms' base. Ragnar has given up. He knows his base is spotted and it's only a matter of time. But fortunately, those minerals being mined at the high yield are going to go straight to KillerB and Pro-like. So once KillerB kills off this Cybercore, it would be a good idea to mass up some more troops. He's got a couple Hydras coming out. He's got the Hydra upgrade, speed upgrade coming out. But yeah, it would be good if he could try to hit one of these bases. Durand doesn't even have any probes at this base here. He is almost out of the game. Gain is coming to polish off this base that got scouted. He has a sizable force, and if we look at the army tab, Gain is the only player left in this game for real. I mean, he's going to let that burn down. Let's see, it looks like KillerB is scouting around with a few Zerglings. Unfortunately, his army size is not big enough to cause any serious damage. He has managed to get Dran down, but not quite out, and I really wish he could spot this base here. Had he been paying attention, well, I'm sure he knows, because if we take a look at, oh, here we go, looks like KillerB's entire force just get polished off, and nothing Zerglings can do against mutas, unfortunately, so hopefully he gets those hiders out fast. Gain is sending in another troop of Zerglings. He knows what kind of defenses KillerB has, though, so no sense in running those into this wall. We got another in-base hatch coming from KillerB. Looks like Pro-like is going for the engineering bay. He needs some turrets up to protect him from mutalisks. Ragnar's floating barracks goes down, and he sure doesn't have much left. He's got these refineries keeping him in the... Well, he's already quit, but the refineries are his last couple buildings remaining of his legacy. Looks like these Hydras and Zerglings took out a couple scouting forces, and Ragnar's going to be officially out as soon as these refineries get taken down. All these Zerglings are running down to go check out Pro-like. Sees that he's got some Marines here. He knows where he's rebuilt. Looks like KillerB has finally decided to move out. He's got some Hydras, got some Zerglings. And now, I don't know if he has enough Hydras to take out these mutas. Maybe he does with some support. I doubt the mutas are going to want to engage that, and no, they definitely fly away from that. Nice to have these two in-base hatches. Really could do with spreading out, I guess, but you know, he doesn't have enough money to support another hatch right now anyways. Now he has massed a decently sized force. Unfortunately, Dran he's probed back up. He's got some buildings in. Orange Shrooms has a little bit of an army. He is breaking these rocks, which is definitely going to frighten Pro-like. He's begging for help, but there's a sizable force here guarding these stalkers, and looks like KillerB is deciding to go the other way and try to strike while the getting is good. Now, there's Zerglings, mutas here. Unfortunately, he got sandwiched between Shrooms, stalkers, and that force is just absolutely obliterated, and KillerB is down to 250 minerals in army size, and that is these Zerglings right here. So we have Shrooms moving out, we have Gain moving out, we have Dran getting what little of a base he can get back. It is not looking too good for Pro-like right here, and look at the size of this force. And all these Marines are going to have to try to take out way too much. There is nothing Pro-like can do here, and down they go. Looks like this army is just going to walk through here to completely destroy Pro-like, and out goes KillerB. So I think that was an exciting game, and thank you for listening.